you're out in such a, you know, a formidable environment with such towering mountains and such harsh climate, you really start to feel small. And when you feel small, it really gives you an appreciation for something bigger than yourself. And to me, that is Mother Nature when you're out here. That is the powers and the force and the age and the wisdom of nature itself. You really feel it. Just walking on glare ice right now. Buck's doing amazing. Good boy. Right now, I'm walking on the river and it's frozen nicely, which is making it easier to tow my pulk. It's a good thing that I have these ice cleats on, or else it would be very challenging to get a grip, especially when my feet are on the glare ice and my pulk is on the snow. It's a good way to slip. So key thing to bring on this trip is ice spikes for your boots for sure. So let's take a second and check them out. They just slip right over your boot like that. There's more hard-packed drifts. We're traveling up and down over land a lot. Buck's sledge is getting dumped over more easily. Repacked it this morning, so it'd be a little lower, but he's still getting hung up a few times here and there. What happened? What happened, Buck? Can't you go flip it over? No? Go flip it. Oh. Okay. I'll get it, Buck. Nothing you can really do about that. Okay, okay. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. Go on, go on. I would say Buck is doing a very good job though. He's pulling up most hills. Most of the times if he gets stuck, he's getting free. So he's being awesome. And good companionship too. Right, Buck? Right, buddy? Okay, there we go. Usually he barks to tell me when his sledge is dumped so I don't walk too far, but that time I had to walk a ways. Headwind picked up pretty strong as I'm heading deeper into the pass, and it's getting freaking freezing cold. It's always best to travel a little cold, I find, because that way you're not sweating, but my fingertips are starting to feel kind of frostbitey. So we'll see how it goes, but it is a pretty strong headwind. Hopefully it doesn't build much more. It's pretty cold. I can't really stop much. It's just been going up and up and up. The river would be more flat, and it's going through some kind of soft ground, and it's just really hard hauling my sledge up the hill. Just even a slight incline makes things way harder when you're hauling. So I don't know what the hell to do. The river itself is 800 meters that way. I don't know if I should just cut right and go that way, but there might be a significant downhill, or whether I should go straight and slowly try to meet back up with the river. Yeah, tough call. It's funny though, as soon as this wind picks up, man, things get scary. Things get more difficult pretty quick. Obviously I'm not going to get lost. I'm in a valley. Like, as long as I don't start going up a mountain or back the way I came, I'm going the right direction, but I don't want to waste time zigzagging. So I broke out my map and had a closer look, and it looks like I'm about 4 kilometers away from where I want to make it today. So, you know, I've just kept plugging along, even though it's been very challenging, and you know, I'm making distance. So, you know, depending on what I face, I hope to be there in a couple hours. The wind's still strong. It's died down maybe a bit, but it's making things more challenging, making things a lot chillier. But yeah, I think I'm going to be able to make it today, and you know, hopefully the weather keeps up and it doesn't get any worse than this. Come on, Buck! Come on! Come on, Buck! Over here, Buck! Come here! Come here! Come on, Buck! Good boy! Where are you going, Buck? Huh? Where exactly were you going? I'm just coming downhill, and it looks like I'm meeting back up with the river. So I don't know really if my route that I took was really the best, or if I should have stuck to the river. It's hard to say, but it feels pretty good right now. The wind died down a smidge, and I'm coming downhill, so it's just like not too steep of a hill for my pulks to crash in and flip me around, but just perfect smooth descent. It's nice actually not to have to go beast mode all the time. And there's the river there. You can see that kind of valley there. So looks like the path gets narrower and narrower too. So probably what I did is I took a shortcut, but it happened to be more uphill considering I'm coming down now. I definitely, you know, this whole stretch into the height of land is all uphill. So even if I'm on the river, there's going to be some uphill travel no matter what you do about it. So, but I feel like I did more than I needed to today. Exhausting, but I guess it kept me warm. Oh man, there's that wind again. Just makes things so cold. Picked up a bit of a trail here from the group ahead of me, mostly blowing over. Well, this is always a challenge when there's a big hill to go down. I unhooked Buck because it's kind of, I don't want him to get injured. So here we go, it should be interesting. Oh! Not what you want to be dealing with when you're freezing your ass off in the Arctic, but I guess it goes with the game. That's one way to do it. Come on, Buck! Good boy! Here! Come here! Good boy! Good boy! Good boy! You ready to be a sled dog? There you go. There you go, good boy. Well, I've been going at it pretty hard today. Thinking about trying to make camp before the sun drops down below the mountains, because then it starts getting real cold. Okay, here we are, morning day 10. Even though I had to take 2 full days off due to that bad weather, I'm still about halfway done. And my plan is 18 days to finish this trip. Now, when you're in the north, you know, you don't want to push that too much. So if I have to miss my flight, so be it, for safety reasons. But I don't think I'm going to. The only thing is weather, because as I've learned, this pass can all of a sudden have very dramatic winds. Yesterday I started under near perfect conditions, and then it just got really wicked, whipping wind. I almost caught a chill by the time I got set up. I was borderline shivering trying to warm up. That's probably why I didn't catch it on film. After I went down that steep hill is basically when I stopped. I'm in a kind of a broad valley here, and I'm going to kind of cross over from a tributary over to the main river and try following that. I'm looking to make it about 14K today to keep me on schedule. The wind is very light today. It's cold, maybe about -20 or something like that, but there's no wind, so that's definitely a plus. As we know, it could pick up like crazy, but I think if I keep trucking along, you know, I should be able to make it on time. you know, it can be daunting sometimes hauling yourself out of bed. I got a bit of a late start this morning just because it was so scary with the wind and the cold last night that I wasn't so ready to just pop out of bed and tackle it again, you know. But as soon as I get out here, it's beautiful. I'm like, wow, you know, I can't wait to put miles behind me and see more of this incredible country. I can see the kind of deep U-shaped moraines or valleys where the penny ice cap once came out into the pass. You can kind of just see the debris and glacial till that's left behind there through those areas. It's pretty special, and apparently the scenery is only going to get better. So yeah, I guess time to start moving on today and enjoy some more of this awesome country I'm passing through, and keep my fingers crossed that the weather doesn't go to shit again. You knocked over the camera. About 18,000 years ago, the Laurentide ice sheet covered all of North America east of the Rockies. And in the mountains to the north here is the Penny ice cap, and it is the most southerly remnant of that Laurentide ice sheet. All the rest of it is melted back over the last 18,000 years. So basically, I've traveled back into the last ice age, which is pretty amazing actually if you think about it. And really, it feels like I'm in some sort of ice age scene right now. Like all I expect to see is a mammoth roll by anytime, and I would convince that I've gone back in time. Basically, my trail is just following the river, following the valley, and trying not to zigzag too much. Contrary to yesterday, today it's just gotten more beautiful, which is awesome. A little bit of a wind, that's why I've got to have this balaclava on, but I'm trying to travel light again, which seems to be working. I'm not really overheating. I had a sweater on this morning, and it wasn't too long before that started getting warm. I started sweating, so I pulled that off and kept it at the ready in case the wind picks up. I'm making decent time. I've done about 5K so far, so a ways to go still, but if I keep it up, I should get there before the sun drops low in the sky and it gets cold. Man, did it ever get nice out. This is awesome. Hopefully it stays like this. Warmed up compared to how it was this morning, and the wind died off too. I'm gonna have a wee bit of tea. A spot of tea, I don't mind if I do. Ho ho. Man, this is so cool. I can't imagine that it's going to get even better than this too. The valley is going to thin out substantial. I'll actually have to make sure I don't camp too close to the mountain sides, because there could be rocks tumbling, stuff like that if the winds pick up. Buck's been doing all right. He's had a bit of an interesting day though. At one part we were going through some stuff that was terrible, like soft, you'd sink in, you know, almost to your knee, and then hard pack drifts, but they'd be all crooked and odd shaped, and his sled was about to dump 100 times, and his sled kept getting stuck. So he kept barking. I kept looking back, and I saw, no, his sled's right side up, so he just needed a little bit of encouragement. I'd say, come on, Buck, come on. Come on, Buck. He'd always manage to muscle it up, which is great, because before, what would happen, you know, not on this trip, but on previous trips, before he was as good as he is now, I'd go back and he'd be barking like he's stuck, and then right before I'd get to him, he'd just get free by himself, just because he was happy to see me. So just with some patience and some treats, you know, to coax him along, a little bit of bribery, it's worked out that he's become pretty impressive actually at doing this stuff. Haven't you there, Buck? You're acting silly. You're acting silly, Buck. Why are you being silly? It's definitely nice to have Buck as companionship on this trip. I just have these two sleds connected with a little clip like that. This rope actually broke earlier today. As tough as the going yesterday was, by the end of the day with the ripping wind, I was so cold that I had to keep moving, and I never checked how much further I was until I was less than 2K away from my desired endpoint. And you know, today I just looked at my GPS and my map, and I'm only halfway there. Damn, I got another 7K to go, so I'm going to be getting there, you know, later in the evening, when it's colder out and what have you, but that's okay. It just seems like, even though it's a beautiful day today, that I'm just making worse time than I did yesterday, I guess. But it's a little annoying. It's probably best to just not even look at how far you are. Anyways, I better get moving. I'm just traveling through a broad swath of valley right now, and the pass is about to go around a bend, and right after I go around that bend, I'm going to be about 6 kilometers from where I want to end, in a place called June Valley. So yeah, I guess I'd better just, you know, put my head down and keep putting one foot in front of the other, and I'll be able to bang off this 7K relatively easily, but likely not the case. But either way, I'm going to get it done. Here, I'm just trying to dig out some water. Where the it is. Conditions on the snow have gone to and I'm sweating pretty hard. I'm trying not to stop for very long because I'm sweating a lot. I'm gonna start freezing my ass off. The sun's gone down behind the mountains now. So it's getting a lot colder. The issue is here that nothing's hard packed, so this last 3K is feeling more like 6. Every time I put my foot in, it's sinking down, or it doesn't sink down, but then the next one does. And you know, it's just making it way more challenging to try to truck along here. I just hope the wind doesn't pick up, but 3K left, it's gonna feel a lot worse than 3K. I'm gonna tell you that right now, just because the snow is just varying conditions. We had that warm wind the other day, followed by some wet snow the next day, and it's just not hard packed. It's some's soft, some's hard, it's all over the place, and it's making it way slower. But I really better get moving here. I'm just gonna chug some water, because I don't know, it's probably about -15 out, and I'm not wearing much. I'm just trying to push through this. Buck seems to be handling it all right. That's good. Buck, are you digging a hole to lie in? It's go time, Buck. It's crunch time. It's not dig holes and lie down time. Are you digging a little lair? Is that what you're doing, Buck? Buck, this is not the time to dig a lair. No. This is the time to push through and complete the task for the day, Buck. Okay, buddy. It's gonna take me a while to warm back up. Come on, Buck. Maybe I'll try just going like this for a bit, and then if I don't warm up, I'll break out a sweater. Whoa, temperature dropped a good bit. I can see some thin low-lying clouds moving in. But I actually, believe it or not, I picked up what I believe is the trail of the other group and their pulks, and it's a little more hard packed, because you know, when something plows through the snow, the little bit of moisture that's trapped underneath the snow gets exposed to the air and then freezes and hardens up that trail. You can barely see it here. This is the other group's tread right here. Amazing, I can still see it after a couple of blizzards we've had. But so that's kind of been my savior a little bit, because it was, whatever the heck's going on in this part, it was just freaking miserable, exhausting, and took a lot of energy and time to walk through it. So I'm just kind of following that now. And I'm about 1.5 kilometers from where I want to stay tonight. I'm going to stay at something called the June Valley Shelter. It's a one of the emergency shelters, you know, and it's kind of nice to set up the tent. But this one is like exactly where I'm planning on ending my day today. As far as conditions go, you know, for north of the Arctic Circle, this is pretty good, but it is freaking freezing cold out here, people. Wind just picked up. I think my nose might be frozen. So I'm gonna suck it up and boot it that last stretch to that survival shelter. And I think I'm gonna stay there for the night. That means I'll have done about 14K, so pretty good day. Well, as soon as I made it about 14 clicks, the wind just died right down, and it is pretty beautiful out here right now, which is awesome. I was traveling through the shadow of a large mountain, and the wind picked up and it started getting really cold. Well, all of a sudden, you know, I rounded a bend and that wind just died, and it's freaking beautiful. So really awesome way to end the day, really rewarding to be able to finish a hard day, like tough going through the snow. Yesterday, I mean, wasn't maybe quite as far as today was, but even though there's some uphills and whatnot and ripping wind, today was just more physically demanding just because of the snow conditions. They're changing. I mean, it feels really good to finish it with you know, perfect conditions in this gorgeous evening like we have right now. And that is the way I'm going tomorrow. Oh. Whoa. Someone left that thing open and a lot of snow blew in here. I don't know if I want to stay here. Just got really nice out. Kind of dark and dingy in there. Thoughts, Buck? Headed into an abyss.